Hello my subscribers and channel guests. In this video I'll make wooden cabinet with panel doors. The main material for the cabinet is edge-glued panel. I made it early. Now I need the base to cut it nice and square. I'm using jointer plane for that. And don't forget marking that base. Then attach the desired width and making square cuts on my circular saw. That workpieces are very long, so I need to be very carefully to make square cuts on my little crosscut sled. And there is no any problems with small workpieces. I want to use dovetail joint for cabinet body. So at first I'm making layout. Cut it off excess material by jigsaw, and now I'm cleaning up with sharp chisel and mallet. I need nice fit joint, so everything must be done carefully and not rush. Now with already made tenons, I'm marking mortises with scalpel. Cutting by marks with my inexpensive saw, and then I'll remove the material but without jigsaw, because I want to try which way is faster. Using jigsaw for me is a little faster. It's neat to work with chisel and mallet from both sides of edge-glued panel. For this operation you need very sharp chisel. For soft wood, this is Carpathian spruce. I'm using 25 degrees bevel. Bigger sharpening angle give you bad result. With 25 degrees angle bevel, chisel cut the wood nice and clear. Now I'm trying fit one workpiece into another and, if necessary, cut material more. That's it. Not too tight and not bad fit, given the fact that I'm not a professional. Repeat steps for the other connection angles of cabinet body. It is important to have a very sharp chisel. Let's see how it looks. Oversizes I will remove with a block plane. Small gaps fill sawdust with glue. Now I am making a groove for the inner wall of the cabinet body. Next, check the details fit together. If all is well, it's possible to glue using clamps, but I don't have long clamps. The width of cabinet is about 140 centimeters, so I'm going to use screws through the tenons and made some holes for them. Finally, gluing up with yellow carpenter's glue. It's necessary check for squares during the gluing. And now I can remove oversizes with black plane and routing rabbet for back wall. A little sanding with 120 grit abrasive. To complete the cabinet body, it's necessary to plane edges in a single flat. After pre-finished sanding, I've got this result. These screws I used because I don't have enough big bar clamps. Now I'm unscrewing it and making a holes 8 mm diameter for dowels. If you need to make some holes very close to the edge, drill is a bad choice. Router has very high speed and make a very clear holes. I'm using carpenter yellow glue and mallet to insert dowels. And now I'm making more dowel holes for inner shelf position adjustment. For my doors I need several pieces of wood the same thickness, cut of the same size using stop block. That were vertical elements, these are horizontal ones. For panels I need thin edge glued panels, so I'm using a table saw to cut off 20 mm pieces of wood. For making panels I prefer to use pipe clamps, using again yellow carpenter glue. The glue has dried and now I am attaching the required thickness with a thickness planer. Make straight and square board edge with jointer plane Stanley number 7. Now I'm using that edge like a base and making square cuts with crosscut slat. In my opinion, the best way to get doors is a door making router bits. I set up the router bit using scrap of wood the same thickness and made all details for frame. And then, using another bit, made the panels by several passes. For joint the frame I am using yellow carpenter's glue. And no any glue for panel, it's important. The panel must be free inside the frame. I can only use some soft material to avoid shaking panel. The glue has dried and now I am cutting off a little material to make edge square and straight. There is CMT saw blade in my table saw. Nice and clear cut. Next step is rounding edges with router bit. I'd rather to do it at least 2 passes to get nice and clear edges. And now pre-finishing sanding with sander paper 120 grit. And don't forget about sharp corners. Finish sanding I'll made 180 grit for soft wood. And fitting panel doors to check out is all okay or not. Well, I think it looks not bad. I need more edge glued board for inner shells. It's a soft wood, the pine, with lots of nuts. I cut it into pieces of desired length. Making the base now and then 2 square edges. I don't worry, are they parallel or not. It's not important. For making panels I prefer to use pipe clamps and yellow carpenter's glue. This panel has large width, I will cut it in half. Until the glue dries, I will make the cornice. Again I start with the base and square edge. Nice long shaving. Then thread it in the thickness planer. Cutting off corners. Gap between the ends of the cabinet and walls will not be more than 1 maybe 2 centimeters. So I don't need the cornice there. Cornice will be only on the side of the main facade. And now I'm marking arcs and sanding off the excess material. It will be a very simple cornice, just routing by 2 passes. To install the cornice, cutting a rabbet on my circular saw. Temporarily fixate with 1 hand clamps and glue. Then I finish cornice mount using nailing gun. Cut off the dried glue with sharp chisel. Then cut in half using a homemade guide rail. Now treating in the thickness planer, making a few passes and turn another side for 1 pass more. I don't see any gaps. The quality of gluing is not so bad. Then cut into the desired size on the table saw. Now I'm doing chamfer on the sharp edges. This can be done with sanding machine, router or hand plane. I prefer block plane. No noise, no dust. Sanding panel with 150 grit abrasive. It's important to regularly test assembly to check is all okay or not. Dowels for inner shells can be replaced to change the height. Now I can apply the first layer of an oil finish. Usually I put 3 layers on the cabinet and 4 on the panel doors. It's time to make a layout for furniture hinges. Convenient to do it with an awl, using Forstner bit for drilling. I install hinges via carpenter's square. Prick the center and using screwdriver. Finally, it's possible to put finish oil on the doors. Doors made of Carpathian spruce. It is interesting to reflect light. Now vertical elements are darker than horizontal ones. But if deployed to 90 degrees, everything changes. In my woodshop I use fluorescent lamps. I make the marks on the body of cabinet and drill holes for handles. Rear panel made of MDF. Fixed it with nails and hammer. The last step, setting handles with screws. Finally, it's done. The cabinet will be placed high above the doorway, so it can be seen from a different angle, not for this one. Around such. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time.